Have you ever eaten this part of the pepper? Nope. Neither even edible. Neither. We'll find out.
Stone, count us down.
Wait. Put a 1 and 2. We can do this. Yeah, I can count on you. 2.
Have fun. I can't figure out how to put that with another sample and make it sound good.
Go ahead and control it.
Yeah, dude, look at that.
You're adding, look.
You ready? This is my famous.
Hey, this is Frank. You're breaking.
My name is Christian Nielsen. I play the microphone.
My name's Armando, and I play guitar.
Brendan Dubs, and I play bass in the band.
My name is Stone, and I play guitar.
I'm Evan, and I play drums in Meadows.
I am blessed to be part of a family band. We're not blood related, but we are a family band. And I like to think that everyone that listens to our band is also a part of it. So if you're watching this, thank you for being a part of it. The new songs are a part of an overarching, it's In Those Days and Also After Part 3, but as a whole it's In Those Days and Also After.
We had in our mind, we were on a very strict time frame and we need to get this out, and I can't remember exactly when it was, but we had like a really short time frame for ourselves, and we had that trip planned out. We had ideas for songs and we kind of fleshed all of them out. And when that started, Alabama went into shutdown pretty shortly after that. And we were just sitting and forced to stop for a little bit. And what ended up coming out of that was us, being able to reflect on our songs for really the first time ever in our writing process.
We went from the voice memo thing to like actually tracking into like a recording software and writing to click tracks instead of like our own rhythm and whatever. So previously we'd go to the studio and just like build clicks there, and it would be like 20 different tempos. Mm-hmm. And so doing it this way, we were able to like consistently map out one tempo, which made it like so much easier, on the engineer, but then also to like build our own tracks or whatever if we want to run live, stuff like that. And it's just helped us better produce a record because we can go back and listen to it, what we've tracked and make changes and that sort of thing.
As a whole, this story follows a family back in the 60s and 70s. And so you have a dad, a mom who's pregnant, and they have a young son. And so in the first EP, part 1, you kind of follow this catalyst event where she, the dad leaves at one point. And so that's kind of viewed as like I said, the catalyst event. And so it's the flood. And then it goes on to the Raven after the dad has gone and he's, you know, passed away. And so it's about 3 years after that, and you're following the son that was left behind. And so he's just kind of trying to process it, trying to deal with it. And it's just a lot of anger and a lot of aggression towards this forgiveness that he's not really able to attain on his own. And so the raven in the story of Noah kind of follows, like, you know, the raven was sent out to see if there's any land now, but it didn't return. But then the dove being the one that Noah sent out and did return. And so the raven kind of signifying the dad and the dove signifying the mom. That's that constant returning. There's the hope for tomorrow.
So we've always had a lot of band chemistry. Like Stone and I, we've played music together since before Stone could drive. 13 or 14 years we played music together. But band chemistry is just like on another level with this, with all of these songs. Just like the way that all of them have come together so fluidly, like it's really hard to articulate and put into words. Just how smoothly how smoothly all the songs came to fruition, basically.
It follows that same family into the second part. And so part 2, you're 10 years later. And so instead of pulling from, you know, the story of Noah to kind of get the elemental vibe for it, you're getting the story of the prodigal son from the Bible. And so there's the inheritance, the absence, and the embrace. And, you know, you're seeing through the older brother at this point is kind of falling into those same patterns of leaving that the dad had taken on. And so there's this, you know, in the story of the prodigal son, like the prodigal son does return, but the brother that stayed is kind of angry, like, how can we do all this for him? Like, when he left, and like, I don't get, you know, this huge celebration, and I've been faithful, I've been here. And so it's almost where, hey, you know, the younger brother is like upset, like, you left and I'm left trying to deal with this. Like, do you not see how this is the same thing? Like, you're putting our mom through this again. Not only just having to go through it the first time, but like now you're leaving when like you're supposed to be the one. Basically, you know, if the older brother leaves and the younger brother is trying to like, hey, you're the man of the house now, and like you're leaving us in a time where like we need you to be there. Because like, you know, at this point, you know, 10 years later, you know, he's just 10 years old, like he's a kid. Like, I can't drive, I can't go do all this. And you also learn like the mom's got some sicknesses, and so in trying to provide for her 2 kids, like she's neglected herself and like has just sacrificed and put them first, almost to a fault. And so, you know, it's really like once she gets into the hospital and the embrace, that they're finally able to reach out, and the older brother says, okay, I'm gonna come back. And there's that moment of trying to reconcile in his own heart, like before he opens the door, and he's just worried, like, am I worth all of this, you know? And so once he gets in, she just like instantly embraces him. And so it kind of follows that same, you know, elements of the prodigal son, where the dad runs to meet the one that left because he returned.
We've recorded this entire project with Alan Rigdon with Study Sound Studios in Gadsden, Alabama. When we started this project, we really had no idea where it was going to go. We had 3 songs, and we knew we wanted to put these 3 songs out as a concept EP, and we told ourselves that we wanted it to be a larger story. So when we had those ready, we ended up connecting with Alan, meeting with him, and it felt really just right. So we recorded the first project with him, loved how it sounded. He really just got the feeling for it. And when we really, I mean, we kind of met him and had talked with him at points, but of course that was the first time we spent time in the studio with him, really got to know him, and at that point shared the idea of what we were wanting to do, you know, and told him, like, hey, we're wanting to do a full-length album in 3 different sections.
But then you get to part 3, and it's actually a prequel. So now we're going back to when the dad left, and it follows kind of that night. And then also you're following him and his perspective. So whereas like you get a song from the older brother's perspective on the first song, and you get on the first part, then a song from the younger brother's perspective on the second part. Now you're getting the dad's perspective while he's gone. And so with that, you're realizing too, when he left, he actually had a moment of clarity where he said, I can't give into this. I have to keep fighting, you know, what's going on and what's like dragging me away. And I've got to go back. And that's when he gets in the car wreck and, you know, ultimately passes away. But for the family, you've got all of this already that you've gone through and seen happen. So there's like this situational irony, like, you know that he died trying to return, but that closure is not there for the family. So you wind up getting, you know, like the Raven, that bitterness of trying to forgive and like the cycle that it's ultimately spun them into. Whereas I guess like the overarching theme is to truly take advantage of the time you have while you have it. Because like we're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised, you know, the next moment even.
I hope for hope. You know, for real. Like I want people to take it away. Like, hey, like in the darkest part of your life, in the lowest of lows, feeling like it can't get any better. Like knowing that it can, knowing that you've got a support system, you've got people who will listen, you got people who care, you got people, I mean, who are going to help you out any way you can. That goes back to like talking about when I was talking about like being a Christian band, like if going through a tough time, if you feel like nobody's listening, just know that, hey, look, like we got your back. Like I don't even know you, but like we can, you know, we can make connection, we can talk to you. Like that's a big thing because we say regardless of what you're going through, I'm pretty sure. Let's say pretty sure. That's a bold statement. We've experienced it in some way. But yeah, I hope that people get hope from it, feel love from it, knowing that that's there.